So we've learned about how to actually trigger code when an animation completes. And what we've done so far is we've removed the class on the animation that just ran so we can then trigger that animation again. But what happens if you want to then trigger another object to move? So after one object is animated, I want to then animate another one, and then another one, and then another one. Well, that's where sequencing animation comes into play. So if we trigger one animation, and then that animation stops, what if we want to then move that object to another location? So that's where sequencing can help. And in this demo, what we're going to do is we're going to sequence some animations, and we're going to trigger an add class for more animations after one animation has completed. So let's go into the code. I'm going to go into my JavaScript code. I'm going to come into the interaction.js here. I'm going to come down to where I've added a couple more classes. I've said, okay, on button click, I'm going to go ahead and add a class of animated bounce. I did use the one. I'm actually going to change that to on for all of these. So let's go ahead and just change that. Let's get rid of the e's for on for one, and then let's save that. I'm going to come back in and preview it just to make sure it's okay here. So you can see I'll click it, that animation runs, click it again, the animation runs again, and the same thing with all of these different animations. But I want to have this animation run. I want to then have that animation run, and then the final animation run as well. So let's go back into the code. So when the animation runs, we're basically just removing this animation, but I want to go in and after that animation is done, so after remove animation is done, I want to then add the animation for animation 2. So I'm going to come up here where we add the animation for animation 2 here, and I'm going to copy that right here where it says add class for section 2, animated shake, and I'm going to paste it right where it says inside of the remove ani1. It's basically going to remove the class of section 1, and then it's going to add the class of section 2. Now once this is done, it's then going to come in here and remove that class. We need one more thing in order to remove after that class has been done. We're going to come in here and say, okay, section 2, once that animation is done, we're then going to remove that animation, and it's going to come down to this section. I would then need to come in here and say, okay, now I'm going to do the same thing that I just did here with section 3, and I can place that here. Let's go in and preview this just to see, so it starts to make a little bit more sense here. I'm going to come in here and hit refresh, and I'm going to run the animation, the first one. So you can see after the first one has completed, it then runs the second one. I'm going to hit refresh again. So come over here, animate section 1, and then it animates section 2. Let's go back into our code. So let's do the same thing that we did here, and let's place it inside of remove ani2. And instead of section 2, we're going to do 3 on this one here. And then we're going to then run remove ani3. And then do the same thing here for ani3. We're going to then do 4 because we want to, after 3, we want to run 4. So we're going to add the class for 4. And then remove the class for 4 as well. But we have a couple things mixed up. So you can see where it says here, animated shake. We actually use the Jello class for number 4. So I'm going to just copy that and paste it up here. And we use the Tada class for number 3. So I'm going to copy that, place it up here, just so we have the right class there. All right, so I'm going to hit save here. Let's go back into our browser. Let's hit refresh. And then I'm going to click on animate section 1. It's going to animate the first one, then the second one, then the third one, then the fourth one. We've been able to sequence our animations one after the other, and it's been great so far, but it's taken a lot of code. There is a more simple way to do it, and we're going to learn about that in the next video.